Welcome, fellow geeks, to the Geek Easy, where open a beverage of your choice. Where today we are doing another episode of Frightful Fridays. This movie is I think it's a 2017 movie, and it is a movie where a man by the name of Jack Wilson has a kind of a ghost hunting show. You know, the typical, let's go, hunt ghosts, hunt, go to these haunted locations and use a spirit box and look for EVPs and all that show. And, ghost adventures, stuff like that. And he is called into the office, and turns out his show is going to be canceled after 3 years due to, reality programming becoming less popular in the streaming universe, and they're wanting to move towards, I guess, cheaper, scripted programming, or stuff that is better for streaming services. And he is just like, dude, we do well and all this stuff. So, as a kind of a last-ditch effort, he says, I've got this thing set up. It's going to be big. It's going to prove there are ghosts. They were gonna go out for the, they were gonna let him go through the end of the third season and then, cancel him. But he says, I'm gonna do this. Ratings are gonna go through the roof, and then we can, it's gonna be so good. I'm gonna want a, 40, episode, whatever it was, extension on the contract. And the producers is like, what is it? It's like, nope, not telling you. You're going to have to find out. And so they kind of haggle a little bit, to which he says, okay, you play it at the end of the year. If it is as good as, if it's as good as you say it is, and proof and all that, we'll give you, one more season. He leaves. Well, it turns out that was a bunch of bullshit. He did not have a plan, and he was just doing that because he needed the show to stay on. He's having money problems, and or he will start to have money problems if the show is canceled. He's got his wife and he sees 2 kids. So he goes to his team, in which Danielle Fisher, and Chad Murray Michaels plays Jack Wilson. He goes to his squad. It's 4 people, including him, and says, we need to come up with something. So they go over a few ideas, and then the new girl says, I've got an idea. And it's like, okay, what is it? This is, let's go to Camp Coldbrook. And like, I've never heard of it. It's just, that's the point. I mean, all these other shows have gone to these places, the same places have been gone to over and over and over and over and over again by all these different shows. Let's do something nobody's heard of before. And so, great. Tell me about Camp Coldbrook. It was a camp owned by a church group in which 40 kids were drowned, and then the suspected killer set herself on fire. Cool, great idea. Let's do that. And so they set things up and head out there. Well, you find out through research that there was the suspect, the woman who caused the kids to drown, was a suspected witch who had been living on the outside of this campground that they've been trying to get rid of, and she is the one who killed the kids. And we find out that this woman blamed the church group for the death of her daughter, because her daughter was playing up the street and was hit by a bus from the church group and killed. And so she's doing a ceremony in order to kill the kids. She needed those kids. She was doing a spell in which she'd exchange those kids' lives for her daughters, and then the townspeople stopped it and burned her alive. But you don't know this. You go out, so we head out there and set up with all the cameras. If you watch any of these shows, you see how it is. They have cameras all set up, and they start investigating, and creepy things start happening. That it, builds to the climax. This movie started out pretty well. I liked Jack Wilson's character. I liked Daniel Fisher. I liked all the different characters. The acting was pretty good, but part of the main problem was the ending. This leads up. It leads up to certain things, and then it doesn't deliver. You find out certain things near the end, and then you get to the conclusion, and it is all either just, it is kind of rushed, and then it's kind of jumbled, and then there's the ending. It seems like a lot of the ending was either just not, it was written to avoid certain things. I really don't want to ruin the ending for people who want to watch this. So, the big conclusion was either not written or it was shot and then discarded because it comes up to a certain point, it starts on a couple things, and then it jumps to another scene. The ending. And you're just like, so you're leading up to this stuff and then it doesn't happen. And it's just like, it's kind of a disappointment. And, I'm thinking, maybe, there is some tension building up. Not much. But, it starts, as it gets to the last, third act, you do start to get a little bit more tension going in there. So it just seems like it's building up and building up. They want it to build up, and then it just collapses at the end. So it kind of wastes the whole first part of the movie. It's like, oh, that was it. Gee, that was easy. So I was kind of let down by it. And I don't know if I can really recommend the movie because despite the, acting, despite, which was pretty good, it was shot really well. And, a couple of the ghost scenes looked okay. But despite that, just the utter collapse at the end of the movie, it was like they had given up. Yeah, I just, it's like, what's the point? You're, dangling all this stuff in front of you, and then, psych, just kidding. No, even if it had, even if say like the candy bar was a fun size instead of a full size candy bar, that would have been better than, a quarter of a fun sized bar. If you get the analogy. I just can't recommend this movie. And it's disappointing because I wanted to like this movie. Because there were some interesting parts to it. You had, was it Chad Michael Murray or whatever? His character was, was different. I mean, yes, you have the guy who's in financial straits, but, usually the character, these guys are shown to be like scam artists. They don't actually believe the stuff. It's just all supposed to be, something, they're just doing it for the money. Just doing it to try and fool people. But his character, when he started out, he actually believed in the stuff, and he was trying to set out to prove that there were ghosts and that you could contact them. But after all this time, he had become jaded and just realized, maybe it's not happening. Maybe there isn't ghosts. Maybe there aren't ghosts. Which makes it a little bit more interesting for him, makes it probably a little bit more terrifying for him when this stuff might start happening. So I liked that aspect of it, but it was the ending of it that just, you're like, okay, come on. No, why are you doing this to me? It's kind of like horror blue balls, not finishing up, getting blocked, so to speak. But I'm gonna give this 2.5, a 2 out of 5, just because, no, it's not worth it. So, yeah, I can't recommend it. But anyway, let me know in the comments below if you watched it. If you did, what you thought of it. And like, subscribe, hopefully share, and enjoy your horror movies.